Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator. I'm going to talk about why I think military surplus prices had gone down in 2022 and why I think they might continue to go down in 2023. And there's some economic factors involved, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But the first thing I need to discuss, if you know where I'm coming from, if you watch my Mosin Nagant Prices Going Down video, I'll link that in the description, so go check that out if you haven't seen it. But I mean, I used to see Mosin Nagant prices through the roof in 2020 and 2021. I mean, we're talking upwards of 900 plus, almost $1,000. And that's how much I've seen them sell for, whether it be on Gunbroker, whether it be at local shops. But recently, a lot of those shops, they sat on this inventory for a while and people weren't buying them. So they brought them inventory prices down on these Mosins from what I've seen. And even on Gunbroker and auction sites, I've seen the Mosin values come down to as low as 400. Some of you guys out there are still buying Mosins. They're still finding Mosins at 200 bucks. There's very few guys out there that have done that, but some of you commented on that video and said you did it. So go check that video out if you haven't seen it. Really, the first thing we got to talk about, why I think that military surplus prices are going to continue to go down, though, is the economy, right? So we had this period of all this stimulus. There was so much uncertainty and doubt and fear, and just pumped money into the economy, into the U.S. economy. So the U.S. Federal Reserve is raising the interest rates by a lot and really fast. And that's causing a lot of businesses to take action. So a lot of big corporations are cutting positions. They are laying people off. When people are getting laid off, they're going to look at the first thing they're going to sell. They're going to sell their stuff. And if they have a collection, they're going to sell that stuff in part of their collection. And also, we're just not seeing all that stimulus anymore, except for California, which had some stimulus recently. So yeah, if you cut off all that stimulus and you're tightening the policy, it's causing people not to go out and spend that much money for stuff. Now, consumer demand, according to consumer demand reports, it's still pretty high. And jobless claims is still pretty low. So what happens is the Federal Reserve is pretty much forcing the hand of the American people. Pretty much, it's like, let's say your father gives you a bunch of money to go buy whatever you want. Well, you, as a kid, you're going to spend it on candy or something, right? So let's just say theoretically you buy all this candy and you eat all this candy up, and your father gives you more money, and then you go spend more candy. And then your father gives you more money, and you go spend money on more candy. And you get into this habit of spending money on candy. Well, candy is not good for you. It's not very nutritious. And so the father says, "Hey, I think we're good. You don't really need all this money. You just could use whatever you're getting for your job now, because there's not a lot of uncertainty going on anymore. So you're already in the habit of buying all this candy all the time, and you continue to buy all this candy. So yeah, consumer demand is high still. There's still people buying stuff, but guess what? They're finding another way to buy this candy. They're putting it on credit cards. Credit card debt is going up, and a lot of people just continue to have that credit card debt snowball. And what the Federal Reserve is doing is saying, hey, all this free money wasn't good, and you guys are getting into a bad habit. And if this continues, this could lead to an even bigger downfall. So let's tighten the money policy right now to prevent everybody from just going down super, super, super crazy fast and harder than it would be if we just did it now. So that's why the Federal Reserve is going in there and raising the interest rates and trying to make policies to where people aren't spending so much. And part of that is, raising interest rates and, looking at jobless claims. So corporations are like, well, if people aren't going to spend that much on stuff, then we need to cut down our positions. And if we were manufacturing a whole bunch of stuff in 2020 and 2021, then we need to cut back all this manufacturing. So we need to cut positions. And all that's taking into effect. And I'm not an economist, but I do research on some of this stuff. And you can see that this kind of, from the bigger picture, it kind of snowballs down. And when it gets down to collectors, people aren't probably going to be buying a lot of stuff at higher prices because of this. And people aren't going to be is so interested in buying a lot of stuff if they're trying to save more money. They're, oh snap, I need to save more money. So people are probably trying to like get themselves out of the habit of buying a lot of stuff and getting back into a save money situation. Now, I did make a video about that earlier this year. I said, hey, you guys need to be in cash and wait for the good deals to come, or if you see a good deal, because that's a as a collector, you got to take into consideration those factors as well. You don't want to buy stuff at super high valuation and then realize that it was all for nothing because a year later or something, like just like with Mosins, some people out there bought $1,000 Mosins. I feel sorry for those guys because Mosins are very abundant and they come around a lot. So um, it's only a matter of time until we saw Mosins come back down to reasonable prices, and there was a lot more of them available on the market. So if they just waited it out, they could have got themselves a better deal and used that money for maybe something else, maybe another Mosin, two Mosins, right? But yeah, that's the economic reason. In 2020 and 2021, and even part of 2022, we're stuck at home, still trying to get used to this post-COVID environment. Um, but yeah, a lot of people in 2022 were looking to go out and do things. So I think people are starting to do more things outdoors, maybe go travel, maybe go on to Disney World, go to cruises, do something, maybe go to Europe. I had a lot of friends that went to Europe because it was cheap, you know? So as people start to enjoy other things in life, they probably start looking at their collectibles a lot less. And, soon they start to forget it and not keep track of them. And they do other things and maybe hanging out with family, cherishing that time with family and friends that they haven't been able to in some years. So 2022, a lot of people traveling around and doing a lot of things other than maybe collecting collectibles, because during 2020 and 2021, I mean, there's so many collectibles being sold on eBay, and Pokemon cards, baseball cards, trading cards. It was a great time to sell if you're already sitting on all that stuff. So yeah, that is another reason why I think you'll see the prices come down in the military surplus and military collectibles. Essentially, yeah, 2023. Yeah, it's going to be. I think if the Federal Reserve keeps pushing down these rates or pushing up these interest rates, it's going to pretty much. It's going to We're going to see some hard times, and people are going to get desperate and they're going to sell a lot of stuff. So if we see people selling a lot of their collectibles for really, really cheap in 2023, if you're sitting on cash, you have the ability to scoop that up and add that to your collection. I wish for you guys to, play it safe. You probably don't have to just sell everything now and then stay in cash. And just to let you guys know, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional. So go seek professional financial advice about your alternative assets if you have any questions about them. I'm just kind of giving you a perspective from my opinion of what I'm seeing. But you can hope for the best and be prepared for the worst, right? 2023, we might see some good deals. In 2024, we might see some better deals, maybe some really good deals. But it's cyclical, right? A lot of people got interested in military surplus collecting and scooped up a whole bunch of stuff, and they might start liquidating a little bit. But eventually, as time goes on, realize these go up in value, and you might see some stagnation with the values. But I think over the long term, you'll probably see these go up, and you'll definitely a lot more people will come to appreciate these, and because there isn't really a lot of them left out there, it's going to be tough to get a hold of them. Look at Civil War weaponry. A lot of those are highly desirable, and there's really not a lot out there. Now, the difference is, I think there's a major difference between Civil War and World War II and World War One is it's harder to use Civil War weaponry because of black powder, and if you have an old rifle like that, you probably don't want to shoot it because of the way it was manufactured and the age of it and the wood cracking and stuff. But with World War One and World War II rifles, you still would be able to shoot them and probably not damage the rifle at all. just depending on the condition of it, right? There's still a lot of them that are really good condition. So going forward here, I wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Also, if you like this kind of content, be sure to pulverize the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Be sure to learn history and curate history. Make it a great day.